The city slept, shrouded in a darkness that was almost absolute, broken only by the sporadic pools of neon and halogen. Streets, usually bustling with life, stood eerily empty, an illusion of tranquility, a deceptive facade. Beneath this veneer of calm, a hidden world stirred, a world of whispers, shadows, and clandestine activities. This was the city's underbelly, a place where the lines between right and wrong blurred, where the rules of society were mere suggestions, often ignored, sometimes rewritten. The darkness itself seemed to conceal an intricate network of activities. A silent ballet of crime and pursuit played out in the hushed stillness of the night. Every darkened alleyway could be a stage, every shadowed doorway a potential hiding place. The air itself crackled with an unspoken tension, a sense of anticipation. It was a world that existed parallel to our own, often unnoticed, but always present. The city's underbelly was a place of stark contrasts. Opulence and destitution rubbed shoulders. Luxury cars with blacked-out windows cruised past graffiti-scarred walls. Designer-clad figures slipped through the shadows, their faces hidden, their motives unclear. In this world, appearances were meticulously crafted, identities fluid and truths elusive. It was a world that both fascinated and repelled, a world that whispered of danger, of secrets kept hidden, of lives lived on the edge. A world that, despite its inherent darkness, held an undeniable allure. For within its shadows, one could find the raw, unfiltered truth of human nature, a truth that, though often unsettling, was also undeniably compelling. Crime in its myriad forms paints a disturbing yet captivating tableau. From the opportunistic snatch and grab to the meticulously planned heist, the spectrum of deceit knows no bounds. Petty theft, a crime of impulse, often born of desperation, can escalate to grand larceny, driven by greed and a sense of entitlement. Then there's white-collar crime, a silent predator lurking within the corporate jungle, its tendrils reaching deep into the pockets of the unsuspecting. Cybercrime, a spectre of the digital age, has become a formidable threat. Hackers, the modern-day outlaws, operate in the ethereal realm of cyberspace. Their weapons of choice, not guns and knives, but lines of code and malicious software. They exploit vulnerabilities in systems, holding data hostage for ransom or siphoning funds with digital sleight of hand. Identity theft, a particularly insidious form of cybercrime, can wreak havoc on a person's life, leaving a trail of financial ruin and emotional distress in its wake. Organized crime, a complex web of interconnected groups, operates with an air of cold efficiency. These syndicates, often with roots stretching back generations, engage in a diverse portfolio of illegal activities, from drug trafficking and human smuggling to extortion and money laundering. They thrive in the shadows, their influence permeating legitimate businesses and corrupting those in positions of power. Then there are the crimes that send chills down our spines: homicide, assault, and sexual violence. These acts of aggression, fueled by rage, power dynamics, or a perverse sense of entitlement, leave lasting scars on individuals and communities. They force us to confront the darkest aspects of human nature, the potential for cruelty and violence that lurks within us all. In this digital age, the battleground for crime solving has expanded to include the virtual world. The ubiquity of technology, while a boon to society, has also provided criminals with new tools and avenues for their illicit activities. Fortunately, law enforcement agencies have risen to the challenge, leveraging technology to combat crime and bring perpetrators to justice. The digital dragnet, as it's often called, has become an indispensable tool in the modern crime solver's arsenal. Surveillance cameras, once a rarity, are now ubiquitous, their watchful eyes capturing a constant stream of activity. Facial recognition software, though not without its controversies, can sift through mountains of data, identifying suspects and tracking their movements. License plate readers, strategically placed at key intersections, can alert authorities to stolen vehicles or vehicles associated with criminal activity. DNA analysis, once a time-consuming process, has been revolutionized by technological advancements. What used to take weeks or even months can now be accomplished in a matter of hours, allowing investigators to quickly connect suspects to crime scenes or exonerate the innocent. Forensic databases containing DNA profiles of millions of individuals have proven invaluable in solving cold cases and identifying serial offenders. Social media, often a platform for sharing life's mundane moments, can also provide crucial evidence in criminal investigations. Posts, comments, and even deleted messages can be retrieved, offering insights into a suspect's whereabouts, relationships, and state of mind. Social network analysis, a specialized field within law enforcement, focuses on mapping out relationships and identifying key players in criminal networks. The world of crime often intersects with the realm of cryptography, the art of secret writing. Criminals, seeking to conceal their activities and communications from prying eyes, often resort to codes and ciphers, transforming their messages into unintelligible gibberish to the uninitiated. However, just as criminals have become adept at crafting these cryptic communications, law enforcement agencies have developed their own cadre of code breakers, individuals skilled in the art of deciphering these hidden messages. The history of cryptography is replete with examples of codes and ciphers used in criminal enterprises. From the simple substitution ciphers used by bootleggers during the Prohibition era to the more complex encryption methods employed by drug cartels and terrorist organizations, the cat-and-mouse game between code makers and code breakers continues to this day. The stakes are high, as the decipherment of a single message can potentially disrupt criminal operations, apprehend dangerous individuals, and even save lives. One notable example of code breaking in criminal justice involved the infamous Zodiac Killer, a serial murderer who terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Zodiac Killer, known for his taunting letters to the press and his use of ciphers, perplexed authorities for years. While some of his coded messages were eventually deciphered, others remain unsolved to this day, adding to the mystique surrounding this enigmatic killer. And the advent of computers and the internet has revolutionized the field of cryptography, leading to the development of highly sophisticated encryption algorithms. Criminals, ever adaptable, have been quick to adopt these new technologies, posing significant challenges for law enforcement. However, just as with any technological advancement, the same tools used for nefarious purposes can also be used for good. Law enforcement agencies, equipped with powerful computers and specialized software, are constantly working to stay one step ahead of the criminals, developing new techniques and strategies to crack their codes and bring them to justice. Not all crimes are solved with high-tech gadgetry and forensic wizardry. Sometimes the most valuable tool in a crime solver's arsenal is the humble human connection. Informants, those shadowy figures operating in the murky underworld of crime, can provide crucial information, often at great personal risk. They are the whispers in the system, the eyes and ears on the ground, privy to secrets hidden from the prying eyes of law enforcement. Cultivating and managing informants is a delicate dance, a complex interplay of trust, manipulation, and self-preservation. Informants are often driven by a variety of motivations: a desire for revenge, a need for money, or even a misguided sense of loyalty to the very authorities they betray. They operate in a world of shifting allegiances, where betrayal is a constant threat and anonymity is paramount. The information provided by informants can range from the seemingly insignificant to the profoundly impactful. A tip about a suspicious meeting, an overheard conversation, a whispered rumor, these seemingly inconsequential details can often be the missing pieces of the puzzle, leading investigators down a path they might never have otherwise considered. In many cases, it is the information gleaned from informants that cracks a case wide open, leading to arrests, convictions, and a sense of justice served. However, relying on informants is not without its ethical dilemmas. Their information, often obtained through dubious means, can be unreliable, tainted by personal biases or ulterior motives. There is always the risk that an informant, motivated by self-preservation or a desire to mislead, may fabricate information, leading investigators down a rabbit hole of dead ends and wasted resources. Moreover, the use of informants raises concerns about privacy and the potential for abuse of power. The decision to utilize an informant is never taken lightly, as it involves a careful weighing of the potential benefits against the inherent risks. Theft, in its purest form, is a transgression against possession. It's the unlawful taking of another's property, a violation of their right to ownership. But within this seemingly straightforward act lies a spectrum of methods, each requiring a unique set of skills and a particular brand of audacity. From the crude smash and grab to the meticulously orchestrated heist, the art of the steal takes many forms. Pickpocketing, the epitome of stealth and sleight of hand, is a timeless craft. It thrives in crowded spaces where distraction is a pickpocket's best friend. A bump, a jostle, a well-placed diversion, these are the tools of the trade, employed with practiced precision to relieve unsuspecting victims of their valuables. It's a dance of misdirection, a subtle ballet of theft that unfolds right under our noses. Burglary, on the other hand, is a crime of opportunity and planning. It requires knowledge of a target's vulnerabilities, an understanding of security systems, and the ability to move undetected. A skilled burglar can bypass alarms, pick locks, and disable surveillance systems, all while leaving little to no trace of their presence. Their objective to acquire valuables with minimal risk, disappearing into the night like phantoms. Then there are the grand heists, those audacious acts of theft that capture our imaginations. These meticulously planned operations often involve multiple players, each with a specific role to play. They require intricate timing, detailed reconnaissance, and the ability to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. The stakes are high, the potential rewards even higher, making these heists a high-risk, high-reward proposition. The pursuit of wealth, power, and status can lead individuals down dangerous paths, particularly when those desires become all-consuming. White-collar crime, a term encompassing a range of non-violent offenses committed for financial gain, often stems from this insatiable hunger for more. It's a crime of opportunity and entitlement, perpetrated by individuals who believe themselves to be above the law, convinced that their intelligence and cunning will render them immune to consequences. Embezzlement, a betrayal of trust, involves the misappropriation of funds entrusted to an individual's care. It's a slow bleed, a gradual siphoning of funds from a company, organization, or even a trusting individual. Embezzlers often lead double lives, maintaining an outward appearance of respectability while secretly lining their pockets with ill-gotten gains. Insider trading, a crime of information, involves the illegal use of confidential information to gain an unfair advantage in the stock market. It's a game rigged in favor of the informed, where individuals with access to privileged information can exploit market fluctuations to amass wealth at the expense of others. This practice undermines the integrity of financial markets and erodes public trust in the system. Fraud, a broad category encompassing a range of deceptive practices, relies on manipulation, misrepresentation, and outright lies to deceive individuals and organizations for financial gain. From Ponzi schemes that promise unrealistic returns to identity theft rings that prey on the unsuspecting, fraud is a pervasive problem, costing individuals and businesses billions of dollars annually. The human psyche, a labyrinth of emotions, desires, and motivations, is often the driving force behind criminal behavior. Understanding the why behind a crime is just as crucial as uncovering the how. What compels an individual to break the law, to inflict harm on others, to violate societal norms? The answers to these questions lie in the complex interplay of psychological factors, personal experiences, and environmental influences. Profiling, a tool used by law enforcement agencies worldwide, attempts to delve into the mind of a criminal to understand their motivations, predict their behavior, and ultimately bring them to justice. By analyzing crime scene evidence, victim characteristics, and behavioral patterns, profilers can develop a psychological sketch of an unknown offender, narrowing down the suspect pool and providing valuable insights to investigators. Serial killers, those who commit a series of murders, often with specific patterns or rituals, are of particular interest to profilers. Their crimes, often driven by deep-seated psychological disturbances, provide a chilling glimpse into the darkest recesses of the human mind. By analyzing the details of their crimes, profilers can gain insights into their fantasies, motivations, and potential triggers. However, profiling is not an exact science. It relies on interpretation, inference, and a deep understanding of human psychology. It's a tool that can be invaluable in criminal investigations, but it must be used with caution as misinterpretations or biases can lead to erroneous conclusions and miscarriages of justice. The human mind is a complex and ever-changing landscape, and even the most experienced profiler can only provide an educated guess at the motivations behind criminal behavior. Organized crime, with its roots stretching back centuries, continues to cast a long shadow over the globe. These sophisticated criminal enterprises, often operating with an air of legitimacy, engage in a wide range of illicit activities, from drug trafficking and human smuggling to money laundering and extortion. Their hierarchical structures, complex networks, and ruthless tactics make them formidable adversaries for law enforcement agencies worldwide. One of the defining characteristics of organized crime is its ability to adapt and evolve. As law enforcement agencies develop new strategies to combat their activities, criminal organizations find new ways to circumvent these efforts, exploiting legal loopholes, corrupting officials, and utilizing technology to their advantage. The war on organized crime is a constant game of cat and mouse, a never-ending cycle of adaptation and innovation. Money laundering, the process of concealing the origins of illegally obtained funds, is a crucial aspect of organized crime. Criminal organizations generate vast sums of money through their illicit activities, and laundering these proceeds allows them to reinvest their profits, fund further criminal endeavors, and maintain a veneer of legitimacy. They utilize a complex web of shell companies, offshore accounts, and seemingly legitimate businesses to disguise the source of their funds. Combating organized crime requires a multi-pronged approach involving international cooperation, intelligence sharing, and the relentless pursuit of those who operate within these criminal networks. It demands a commitment to dismantling their financial infrastructure, disrupting their operations, and bringing their leaders to justice. The fight against organized crime is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring sustained effort, unwavering dedication, and a willingness to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of global crime. The world of crime, as we've explored, is a complex and ever-evolving landscape. It's a world that operates in the shadows, often hidden from plain sight, yet its impact on society is undeniable. From the petty thief to the mastermind behind a global criminal enterprise, those who engage in illegal activities represent a threat to our safety, our security, and our way of life. However, knowledge is power. By understanding the nature of crime, the motivations behind it, and the methods employed by criminals, we can better protect ourselves and our communities. Awareness is the first line of defense, allowing us to identify potential risks, take preventative measures, and report suspicious activity to the authorities. Staying informed about crime trends, local crime patterns, and the latest scams and schemes is crucial. Local news outlets, law enforcement websites, and community watch groups are valuable resources for staying abreast of crime-related information in your area. By staying informed, we empower ourselves to make informed decisions, minimize risks, and contribute to a safer environment for ourselves and our neighbors. Remember, crime thrives in silence. By reporting suspicious activity, sharing information with authorities, and supporting law enforcement efforts, we can all play a role in creating a safer and more secure society. The fight against crime is not just the responsibility of law enforcement, it's a collective effort that requires the active participation of every citizen. Let us all strive to be vigilant, informed, and engaged in the pursuit of justice and the safety of our communities.